in front of the house.
I didn't hear you.
This is the old road bed that came up here, up the hill to this house. And there used to be two, well, there was like a grove of cedar trees here. And there were two large cedar trees on each side of the front walkway going up to the house. And these cedar trees were dead when I was a kid. So they have been dead a long time.
Oh.
But they're still standing.
There it is.
Now this one over here has fallen. Somebody came to cut it up. I know that cedar tree has been dead 50 years at least, that I know of, but it's still here. And this little trail was not here either the last time I was here. And there's a well up here too. I don't see the well. They must have filled it in.
I see what you're talking about, though. Straight down behind the house.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I see. Is it? Oh boy.
How would you like to walk off in that one night?
Oh man, that is sure enough deep. I'll let you look.
I told you it was deep. We are on top of a mountain. Can you imagine how far it is down to the water?
Yeah.
Let's my brother and I probably gathered up every rock within 50 yards of here, throwing them in there one time.
Let's see. I see one y'all did not get. That's a big one though.
Okay. Here goes.
Yikes.
That's deep.
That is very deep. There we go. Maybe that's a shot straight down there. Of course, it's just a, looks like just a endless dark pit.
Last time I was here, there was water in there, so it's no water now.
Wow.
How deep would you say that is?
Really deep. I don't know. It's one of the deepest wells that I've seen in this area. And to think that that would have been hand dug, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can tell that it was square at one time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Around.
And if you look on, oh, look at this, Dan.
An old dish.
Yeah.
Piece of china. Be interested to know who ate the last meal off of that.
Right. I was looking over here. You can see on the side, like almost steps, not steps, but just little indentions in the side.
Yeah.
Maybe where someone was crawling in and crawling out of there, climbing in and out. Better them than me.
when my brother Jonathan and I were kids, I remember I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, and he was probably about 5 or 6. My mother wanted my daddy to get us out of the house. It was Christmas Eve, and we were really starting to get on her nerves because she was trying to cook Christmas dinner, and she had a lot of things going on because we had a big crowd coming to our house for Christmas Day. And this was Christmas Eve, about the same time of day. Daddy brought us up here to get us out of the house, and we just went for a ride, and we wound up here. And he knew all these back roads because he had used to ride the ice truck back when it delivered blocks of ice back in the 1930s. And he rode the ice truck with his friend Carl Story from Toppeton. And we wound up here, and we just sat on a rock, Daddy telling Jonathan and I, my brother, stories about the people who lived here. Of course he was fabricating these stories, but he just had us mesmerized, telling us the story of the children that used to live in this house growing up, and how excited they would have been on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve that Santa Claus was coming and was probably going to bring them, if they were lucky, an orange or maybe an apple or something, maybe a ball to play with, if they were lucky. And Jonathan and I just sat here mesmerized listening to these old stories that Daddy was making up. But later on, Daddy came back up here. It was during hunting season, and he and my brother were in the woods up here, and he came home and told me that he walked down the hill from this place and he found a little cemetery. And he said that it was the Crawford family. And I have never been able to find that cemetery in either direction from this place. But I remember speaking to Mr. Ben Gilson in Toppeton about it, and Mr. Ben Gilson told me, yes, that his mother was a Crawford, and that this is where she came from, up in here. And her grandparents were from here, and that these Crawfords were related to him. And I've always wanted to try to find that cemetery. But I haven't been back to this place since I was up here Christmas Eve, probably of 1976.
Gotcha.
That's been a long time.
Right.
But it's still here. Amazing.
Yeah.
And the well is still just like I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember my brother and I throwing rocks in that well. And I also remember that the terrain goes down to the present road out here in the back of the house, as you can see. I remember rolling rocks down this hill. The mountain goes all the way down to probably a branch down there on that side. It is a long way down.
Yeah.
But that is a beautiful chimney.
Yes, it is. So this would have been pretty early settlement up here, I'm guessing, with
I would
home
think
site.
so, yes. I do remember Daddy said he came up here once with a metal detector, and there was absolutely nothing but square nails here. There was nothing else. He never found not even a piece of a horseshoe.
Wow.
I just thought that was a work of art in itself.
Yes, it is.
They did have a steel, an iron lintel here. You can see it's hammered out by a blacksmith.
A chimney down here too? Oh yeah, chimney pile. And this one just collapsed. So it's not a very large house. Oh, maybe, kind of.
Probably a dog trot hallway through the middle and 2 rooms.
This area was really populated, and now it's not. Now it's all just timberland. What happened?
Well, it was populated by people who drew land in the land lottery, and they had no way of knowing what the land looked like until they got here. and I'm sure a lot of them were disappointed. They probably couldn't sell the land because no one wanted it. You couldn't farm it because it's just the side of a mountain. And some of them were able to flatten out a little spot and do some farming, but for the most part, they really couldn't do anything to earn a living up here. Sawmills came along. A lot of these people lived here and worked in the sawmills, and it was just another industry that came through. And once all the trees were cut, then there was really nothing they could do, and a lot of these places were abandoned. As far as the main crops of cotton and cotton fields, that was not possible up here. So they made a living the best way they could, and I think that's the reason that so many families left up here later when industries came to local towns like Manchester and Tawbaton. They left here going there to make a living. But I believe this one has been abandoned a long time, because from what I was told about the metal detecting here, there was not anything modern under the ground here.
Right.
Nothing. This has been gone a long, long time.
It is quiet up here.
Very peaceful.
So Dan, you want to give a little lead into this place? We've been walking around for 30 minutes looking for it.
30 minutes looking for it.
Yeah.
50 years of thinking about it. Wow. Let's see. There's something right there.
Yep, sure enough.
Looks like they ran over something with maybe cutting a fire break through here at some point. Wow. Go ahead, Rob. There's a lot of breeze here.
Yes, there are.
Oh, let's see.
That looks like, oh look, there's one right there. Oh look, Dan, even over there.
I like that.
I'll start right here. Dan, this man was nearly 100 years old.
Wow.
It says sacred to the memory of James Crawford, who was born December 24th, 1773, and died August 7th, 1873.
So that man most likely died in that house up there that we just left from,
Yeah.
the chimney and the deep well.
So we gave a little one covers it.
Got an adult grave there. It looks like an adult grave here. Possibly one there. That's old homestead shrubbery.
Pass that back to you. Well, it's in memory of Joel Crawford. He died November 6th, 1857, and was born in 1856. I can't read the month.
And we got what looks like a young adult grave, maybe, or a child
Right there,
of stacked field stones. Something there.
Wow, it was. It says daughter. Crawford for sure. That's all I can make out on it.
That's another child, though.
Yeah, another child.
And then there's another child's grave out there.
Right. This one, I think this was moved here.
Possibly.
And maybe a part of that one. Because this is the... or am I looking at it wrong?
It looks like it's been twisted sideways. It is the base to a box, above ground box grave, box tree.
Yeah, it's definitely the base. So maybe
somebody moved that there from over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Look at the
wow.
motif on that one.
Oh, that's cool. The sun couldn't reflect. This is an early one. 1836. The birth date, died 1837.
Emmett?
Yeah.
Or Emily?
E-M-I-L. Emmeline. I think. Yeah, Emmeline Crawford. Was born August 30th, 1836 and died July 9th, 1837. Early. There's a field stain right there, so I'm sure that's a...
And there's another one. Upright.
There's one. Oh, they're all over the place, Dan. There's one right there. I'll come back over here first, but this is David Lafayette, son of J.M. and M.J. Crawford, born November 17th, 1856, died September 22nd, 1857. And Josie Eva, daughter of J.M. and M.J. Crawford, born November 22nd, 1869, and died August 18th, 1870. Martin Terrell, son of J.M. and M.J. Crawford, born August 30th, 1858, and died March 20th, 1875. And here's Sarah Savannah, daughter of J.M. and M.J. Crawford, born May 17th, 1866, and died April 6th, 1876. 10 years old. There's a fieldstone headstone there. We'll look at that in just a moment. No, you're fine. Look at the design on the top of this one. Is that maybe an olive branch? Last name Crawford. May 17th. 1866. September 6th, 1875. This is modern digging or something right there, right?
Yeah, I would imagine the pulpwood company or the timber company came in when they cut that fire break, and they probably didn't realize there was a cemetery here until they had destroyed that little grave right over there.
Right.
And that may be why that piece is laying over there. And that's when they decided they'd better put some stakes around the corners of it, maybe.
Yeah.
The strange part of this is the fact that back in the mid-1970s, my daddy did not know this cemetery existed here.
Right.
But he knew of the home place up on the hill. And he sat up there and told the story of all the children that played up and down the road in front of that house, so excited over Christmas. And we had no idea that those children were right down the hill here.
Right.
Until later. And he told me that he and my older brother later found this cemetery here, but I never came to it. This is the first time I've been here.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned it to Mr. Ben Gilson in Tauberton, who was a timber cruiser for the timber company all of his adult life. Mr. Ben will be 96 soon, and his mind is sharp as a tack. His mother was a Crawford. And I mentioned to him, had he ever found the Crawford Cemetery up here? And he said, no. He said, I've always wondered where it was. He said, if you ever find it, let me know where it is. And he said, I would love to go there.
Yeah.
So maybe we have to go get Mr. Ben and bring him up here.
Absolutely. That's incredible. Oh, there's one.
There's another one.
Yep, right there.
Piece of a,
Yeah, that's the side, yeah.
this is the side of a part of a box tomb, I think.
Yeah, probably this one.
Yeah. Looks like it might have got ran over by something.
Yeah.
Or a tree fell on it. I'm surprised that this family marked the graves. They seem to have had enough money to do that, and
right.
they cared enough about their dead to mark the graves here in the cemetery. We see the homestead site up there. It's pitiful.
Yeah.
When you think about what kind of house was there, which was probably either log or log covered with clapboard, built probably in probably the 1820s or late 1820s or 1830s, and this family lived there and made a living up here the best they could. It's pitiful to think about.
Right.
Even in the 1930s and 40s, when my dad was a young man, a young boy, he rode the ice truck I mentioned. And these people up here didn't have electricity, and the only ice they had to keep food fresh was when that ice truck came through these muddy roads once a week, and he delivered ice to houses. Of course, he didn't drive the truck. His friend did it, but he had a job working with him, and he delivered to the people who still lived up in this area then. And he told me then that there was some very elderly people that lived in big old houses, and the only heat they had was a fireplace.
Wow.